you and me repeat. This bittersweet heat is suffocating. I'm waiting and always hesitating. Kryptonite desires set my heart afire.
Alrighty, before this video starts, I want to apologize. My voice is a little raspy, and I've not been feeling well for the past couple of days, so I do apologize for that. But these type of videos I'm going to showcase to you guys are a little bit different. Essentially, I made a community tab about a few days ago, or I think maybe a week or two, where I said at like any hunter mains who would like to participate going against my team as practice in a 3-round scenario in the tournament, please let me know. Here's my Discord, add me, and we can figure out a time to schedule and play. Some hunters were nervous, some were excited, and I wanted to practice with these hunters and kind of showcase what my team can do and what we're learning on, because we're not the best, to be honest. We are just, I guess, well-known trolls, but we're definitely trying to practice and improve upon it. So facing different hunters of different play styles and different ranks is a great way, in my opinion, to kind of showcase what we can do and what we need to work on and what type of hunters we need to practice going against. So as you can see, we're facing a Dream Witch, and this hunter's name is Rose. And I want to let them know that, Rose, if you're watching this, you did an amazing job. You did a really good job going against the pressure, and everything you were doing was absolutely nice. Sadly, I couldn't get all replays, all 3 rounds, so this will only be a 2-round scenario, where you see first round, which is this one, and a second round that you'll see in the next upcoming clip. But it's tourney rules, where essentially we flip a coin to see who picks the map, and we kind of go off based off bans, rounds, etc., and see kind of how we are doing overall. Now, I was meant to play forward, but we didn't know the main Dream Witch, so I kind of took the risk of just playing Cowboy, because I know Cowboy can counter BQ. So getting into the gameplay a little bit, you see that the Dream Witch is doing a great job with pressuring. I run into the open because I have an owl, and that gets rid of my leech. So now there's only Rose's leech and a spawn on a field, and overall nobody has been chaired. I'm the only one injured, and there's already been 1 cipher pop. So our rotations early game and our communication were pretty on point. So now this forces the Dream Witch to chase me across the map. See, with the Dream Witch, if you're being chased first, you want to prioritize getting away, as far away as possible from all ciphers. So every time the game starts, I will ask my teammates where they're at, where they spawn, and where can I kite. And that's what I'm trying to do. They're communicating with me and telling me where I can kite, where I cannot kite. And that's what I'm working with, and that's how it's going. And you see that I'm constantly transitioning away from the Dream Witch, making her waste a lot of time trying to catch up to me. Now, I do mess up because I forgot that the Dream Witch does have Patroller. So I kind of ran to the open and kind of ended my kite just because of that. Something we try to prioritize is that if you're decoding and there's a leech right there, for example, we just take the hit, essentially, because that gets rid of the leech. But my mistake was that I forgot that Roses was at Shack, and there is basement there, so that was a mistake on my part. I believe during this footage you can see that Dark ends up lagging out as well. Not only that, but Roses' mic wasn't working. She thought she had it working, but it wasn't working through the entire match. So we're trying to go based off what we're trying to work with here. We don't really want to do a rematch. We just kind of have to work with what we're doing at the moment. But overall, Rose is going to try to pull off a sneaky save off basement because it is a priestess, so she's not expecting a priestess to save. I believe Dark is still lagging out, I'm on chair, and Kojo is still decoding. So they get the save. I unfortunately get hit as soon as they go through the portal, so my main goal is to leave. So I'm asking where they're at, and I'm avoiding going to where they're at. So they're decoding those ciphers, so as you can see, I'm running away. I'm running away far from these ciphers and going across this way, because there are 3 ciphers left. So now they're prioritizing healing, deleting, and I'm far away from them. So if the Dream Witch is doing what she's doing right now and leaves me, she's risking them healing up and deleting. Now the reason why she's leaving me is because she has a leech on me, so my leech will follow me and then eventually pick me up. Now Rosa's got really lucky here, the fact that the Dream Witch didn't just normally attack. She did do a charge attack, which gave her enough time to portal. So that kind of worked in her favor. Kocho's trying to stay in this area to finish the cipher. I'm being chaired, and that makes Dark goes for rescue. I am dead on chair though, so Dark may have to do a double body block if we feel like we can still kite. So at this point, there is about 3 leeches on field. Mine, Kocho's, and Spawn. And something we try to communicate and talk about is that when there is a Dream Witch with Patroller, the Merc has to kind of go early. Because what Dream Witches will like to do is they'll patrol the Merc from far away and ensure you don't get that save before half. She expected that she would go in for it instantly, but doesn't take the terror shot. Takes the double hit though, and tell me to go away. So now my goal is to get far away from everything as possible. Get away from the leeches, get away from the ciphers, and just make sure I do not die. So we're just kind of trying to work with what we got here. We're gonna try to heal up. We're gonna try to de-leech. We're gonna try to get away from everything, and it's a lot of pressure on the Dream Witch part and our part as well. Kocho ends up running into the spawn, and so now all the leeches are moving. You see my leeches moving. You see Kocho's leeches is moving, and you see the spawn is going towards Rose's cipher. So overall, this Dream Witch, like I said, is doing a nice job at pressuring us. But we're still decoding. We're still trying to heal up. We're still trying to pressure the ciphers because we're making this Dream Witch constantly come all around the map just to try to leech us. And when she does leeches us, she's not pressuring anything else. So it's making her harder because we're slowly chipping away at these ciphers. The ciphers is 71. We have a cipher at Graveyard. We have a cipher at Island, pretty much. We have a cipher at bottom broken and a cipher at mid broken. So we're kind of have a lot of leeway, and we didn't locker. We do the thing. We don't do a locker. What's it called? A cipher locker, like lock, I believe. Cipher locked is when all the ciphers are not in the same area. So that way, that Dream Witch cannot pressure. So if the Dream Witch wants to pressure a cipher, she has to travel across the map in order to do so. So in the meantime, while that's happening, me and Coach are deleting. Or my bad, me and Dark are deleting and trying to get away. The Dark takes another hit. That's absolutely fine. That leaves Rose to go for save. And Rose is going to try to go to sneaky save. I'm going away and try to deleech myself, hopefully, and also heal up with Dark. But there is one cipher left, and we still have 3. One's right next to the church. One's in Graveyard right here. And one is very far across the map. Now, Rose does something smart here as Priestess because she does portal behind the chair. That gives her time. It makes sure she doesn't farm Kocho. Kocho is dead on chair. We have 2 people who are dead on chair. Kocho and me are both dead on chair. So now Roses has to die for Kocho. We hear the trump card switch, so it's probably a blink. The Dream Witch ends up blinking a little bit too early, so it smacks Roses instead, giving Kocho time to leave. We're communicating, and we're trying to do our best to tell them where they're at, who they switch to, what cipher they're pressuring. And it's a lot of communication. I promise you, if you're a shy speaker, then you're gonna really hate practicing against a Dream Witch. You cannot be shy against a Dream Witch. You have to speak up, say what you have to say, tell your teammates what they need to know, etc. You can't sit there and whisper and say, "Oh yeah, I think they're on me," or this. No, you can't. You have to be loud, clear, and you have to tell a lot of information. That's why Dream Witch is really hard, because a lot of people they like to stay quiet when they kite. And then when they get smacked, like they snap out of it. And it's like, oh yeah, I'm over here and doing this. Well, against Dream Witch, you can't really do that. You have to constantly know what you're doing and constantly try to understand what's going on. And my team is still struggling to understand that a little bit. We have a little hiccups every now and then, but we still try to manage. Now, this is also, we're in a bit of a sticky situation because everyone is basically dead on chair except Dark. Roses is dead, I'm dead, Kocho is dead. So this Dream Witch plays her cards right. She can technically 4-man us. So we're pressuring the cipher over here. We're not healing because the cipher is almost primed and she does not have trump card. She already used it. So she does end up pressuring off the cipher, but it gives Dark and Roses time to de-leech and work on the cipher at Graveyard, which is almost like 80 and above. I know she has blink, so I'm not going to risk her trying to blink me, and the leech goes out of range. So they're working on the cipher. It's 60, my bad. It's another one over here is at 90 at mid broken. There it's prime. We ask if they're on anybody. They're on nobody, so we pop. The Dream Witch is going to have to rely on late game. The spawn goes out of range. She has to move spawn, and we know that she's coming for us. So I tell Kocho, okay, delete and let's split up. We got to split up because my leech is going there. It gets de-leeched, and now we have to split up. There are no leeches on the field. There's only the spawn. So she's looking for us, and we anticipated that she was going to rotate there. So we breaking up and making sure and force her to choose who you're going to chase. You're going to chase me, you're going to chase Kocho. And so while this is going on, Dark and Roses are at the gate. It's already open. So we're just going to rotate and try to race her to the gate. It's a race to the gate to see who can get there first. So she does leech me, but that's fine because I am a cowboy and I still have lasso, so I'm gonna lasso the pallet, get the boost, and move on. Now, in this clip, you'll see that Coach is a bit of a bot and kind of gets, you'll see, blinked. But overall, this was a great match, and we'll move on to the second one. Alright, like I said, this is round two. I believe Merc and I think Mech was the ban. In a tournament scenario, you will always see who the hunter is, so you guys can adjust your builds based off that. But I'm pretty sure, though, I believe that we have our basic rescuers. We have Dark being the Grave, we have Roses being the Priestess, who both carry a tide, and Seer and me being the only two people who run broken in this team comp. And you can see Roses being chased first. He does a great job kind of breaking line of sight, making the hunter kind of having to look around to see where she's exactly going. And she's using these pallets and these airs to her best advantage to separate the distance between her and kind of make her guess, if she's going to try the statue, make her guess where Roses is at. She doesn't get heartbeat and she communicates with it that she's leaving the statue, which is me. So she's on me at statue and I'm communicating with my teammates and asking, okay, where can I kite, where can I not kite, where do I go, etc. They tell me that I'm working on shack, they tell me we're going to take hospital, and that we're working on 2 pallet near front gate. And so that was like, in my mind, I was analyzing it, okay, that means I have statue and I have ruins all to me. So now what I'm going to do is that I'm not going to rotate to people's cipher. What I'm going to do, and this is the hardest thing to do when you're kiting, is to keep in mind where you can go and where you cannot go. Because you do not want to die at people's ciphers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to loop ruins for a bit, try to go outside of the hospital, and then slowly make my way back to ruins, if not statue. And that's the rotations and the route that I have to take to prioritize and promote Cypher Rush, and to also not die my teammates' ciphers and nowhere near basement as well. Coach reminds me and says, you have owl, and I was like, okay, spectate me because I did get injured and I don't want to get blinked on. She gives me owl because she anticipated a hit. I'm taking the advantage of her not hitting the owl and just get a speed boost and leave. She does end up hitting the owl and I end up running to a statue like a bot. But I'm slowly making my way back to ruins. You see, I'm taking the advantage of that owl hit and going back to ruins, promoting Cypher Rush, and die at nobody's cipher. That way she has like a hard time pressuring, and already 1 cipher has popped, 2 ciphers have popped, and it's been 3 ciphers has popped, and it's just constantly me just transitioning and wasting time. I missed the last of the pallet. I don't know how really that missed, but I guess. So it was a 3 cipher kite, and I'm at nobody's cipher. Now, I'm not going to be self-critical, but I'm going to, no, that it was alright of a kite. I know I could have probably done better, but it was decent enough, and it got us down to 2 ciphers. Now, I feel like Rose should have really chaired me near statue, because that way she can pressure the statues, but I don't think she saw the grave and the priestess at statue, so it would make sense for her not to cheer me there. So now Dark is going to come to save and avoid the terror strike. She's being patient. She's making her waste her statues. She takes the hit, saves, and goes on and doesn't want to get double hit. So I'm telling you, okay, fine, I'll just keep kiting at ruins and make my way to shack. And there was like, where's basement? And I'm pretty sure they said it was hospital, so I'm gonna just go to shack. If the basement isn't set of shack, I'll just leave instantly and go. So I think basement is here. I looked out and didn't get pushed too far into the wall. So I'm taking advantage of my speed boost, and I'm going to go back in the same area where I was looping. As you can see, these pallets are turned down and everything. So I'm just looping the same area and breaking her line of sight, making her have to guess where I'm at. And I tell her she teleports. Now, she teleported because she was afraid that last cipher might be primed. So overall, our team is doing a really good job with pressuring. Making the Sculptor having to leave her, go away, etc. So now our only job now is to heal up, pressure the ciphers, and making her having to choose. It's like, hey, are you gonna pressure this cipher, or you want to pressure this cipher? So the cipher right here is like 80, and she did chisel to us. So now I have to dodge these statues and make sure I don't die here. While all this is going on, Roses is still working on the other cipher. She saw that she pinged the cipher is like 90, so she's working on the other cipher while Dark is still working on the cipher. So the ciphers are primed. They pop the cipher because she has distance. And overall, this is looking like a 3-man, if not maybe a draw if we mess up. But Roses ends up getting a really good pallet stun. I don't know how that really ended up hitting, but hey, she got it. So now she's communicating with us, saying that she thinks she's on me. I think she's leaving me. She said, yeah, she's going to Shack. And we're like, okay, we'll prepare ourselves. Do we have time? No, we don't have time. So Dark ends up shoveling immediately because she doesn't want to get hit. And I end up getting chiseled and messing up my lasso because of it. So now this is looking like a 3-man because she doesn't have teleport, where she's about to, but doesn't have it at the moment. The gate's already open and Dark is already slowly making her way to the gate. Overall, like I said, I'm really happy that my team is overall trying to get better at this. They're doing a really good job, and I hope you guys can kind of see that. I will try to upload more of this gameplay of our team going against these type of stuff and see how it overall goes. But as far as that being said, great job to the hunters, great job to the teammates, and I hope you guys really enjoy this type of gameplay.
Heart on fire, set my heart afire.